Okay, let's go for a walk. Take a walk on the Borzoi Trail. Got Cherish with me today. It's June 6th, 2023. Beautiful day. Nice and cool out. That's a little extension of the trail. It loops around, adds an extra 50 yards. This is a bench that I put up in the fall. It oversees most of the trail when there are no leaves on the trees. You can see pretty deep into the woods when there's no leaves. That's our sitting area. We'll come back to that when we loop around. That's the old creek crossing right there with the stepping stones. But we have a bridge now. You've seen it in the last videos. It's an old red oak tree. It fell in December of 2019, and I carved some steps into it. Put a nice railing on there. Beautiful ironwood tree railing. And that's how we walk across the creek now. Continue on the main trail. This trail is 0.567 miles long. It's all on our property. Has borders all the way. You keep the trail clear with the backpack blower, weed whacker every once in a while. Peaceful out here today. It's just beautiful. It's like 72 degrees, sunny, very dry though. Hasn't rained in 3 weeks. That's a shagbark hickory tree right in front of us. No nuts yet, about a month. Then the squirrels will be up there peeling the nuts, dropping them on your head as you walk by. I walk this trail every day, at least once a day. This is my favorite tree here. This is the black cherry tree. You've seen this before in my other videos. The tree had about a dozen vines, huge vines, 3-inch vines, pulled down the majority of the canopy. But I cut them down, was able to pull them out of the tree a few years ago. So the tree is thriving again, but it did lose all of its width, most of its width. It's 113 inches in circumference, 179 years old approximately. Gorgeous tree. I just love that tree. Black cherry. I'm using my GoPro with a chest mounted strap, so it'll be a little bouncy. I do have image stabilization on, but could only do so much. This is a magnificent maple tree right here. That tree produced 17 gallons of sap for when I made maple syrup this past winter. And it would have produced a heck of a lot more, but that's all I was going for. I boiled down 50 gallons of sap total from 3 trees. All 3 were sugar maples. It's just continuation of the main trail. This is what I call Fox Run Extension. Goes down to another section of the creek, loops around. These creeks are spring fed, so they never dry up. That orange ribbon is the southeast corner of our property. Right below it would be the pin. It would be in the creek. We'll head back up, hook up with the main trail. It's a massive tulip tree right in front of us. Got one much bigger. Show you in a little bit. These 2 beautiful beech trees right here, 2 large ones. They're about on the line of our property, the rear east side of our property. 20 feet past is about the property line. Looping around, heading north. Here's our largest poison ivy patch. Little bridge over this wash. This tree here that's the only sycamore tree that we have on our property. We're coming back around to a different portion of the creek. This area I call the park. It's just cleared out. It's a bench to relax. Have a hammock, a deer feeding station there, and the creek loops all the way around, then heads back south. You can see that's one of my trail cams right there. keeping an eye on what's going on. Deer pass through here every night, raccoons, and just about any kind of animal you imagine that live in this area. They're here. This is the old skunk den. Had fun with the skunks. 2020. Haven't seen them since. It's the little sitting area alongside the creek. It's a creek crossing, goes over to the sitting area. Well, we're going to go over the winter crossing, which is much higher. So it's a bridge across the creek in the winter time. There's Cherish. What are you doing? Come on, let's go. This is where I have bonfires, burn some wood. It's our sitting area. I made all these benches, a little fire pit there, some tiki torches. It's a nice little setup. This is Myrtle Lane, pawpaw trees. Plenty of pawpaw trees. Last year we only had a few pawpaw fruit though. Very hard to pollinate them. I tried this year but missed again. So I'm hoping we get some fruit. There's another bridge over one of the washes. I keep all the washes clear so that the water runs off the property and doesn't saturate the path. That's why we call that Myrtle Lane there. A huge myrtle patch here. Then behind it is a fern patch. Another sitting area next to the creek. This is the Gorge Loop extension path. Have another trail cam right there. Keeping an eye on. There's a feeding station for the deer. And this is a main run for the coyote, the fox, raccoons. They all come through there. It's a beech tree. Broke loose 2 years ago. It's leaning on another tree. So I cut a seat in there, a little backrest. And I have another trail cam right there. It watches this creek here. A great blue heron comes in there and fishes. And it also watches what's going on the other side of the creek there by the park. This is what I call the Gorge Loop. This is a shortcut path. Goes back to the house. Don't use it though very much, but I do keep it clear. The reason I call this a gorge loop, it's not a gorge, but there's a big hill next to it. So it's a feeling of a mini gorge. It's a bridge over a main wash. All that water coming off of the hill goes right underneath our path. You can see there's another wash, comes right through here, takes the water right away. So the path stays navigable. Could walk it rain or shine. You won't be going through mud. It's really nice. It's worked out well. This here is the largest tulip tree on our property. It's really, really large. I don't know if we could see how tall it is. Has some poison ivy going up it. But it's 96 years old. It's 104 inches in circumference. Gorgeous tree. You see how tulips grow straight up too. That's why they're good for making lumber. Poplar wood. This is the end of the gorge loop. We're just coming back around. That was a seating area over there. A little observation point for the creek. It's the feeding area for deer. Usually just the winter time. They don't need anything in the summertime. Cherish. Come on, what are you doing in the creek? Cooling off? These are all pawpaw trees. All these, both sides. Right in front of us are pawpaw. It's a little jungle extension. Gets us back on the main path. This old tree, pileated woodpecker loves this tree. Had babies in it 2 years ago. Back on the main path, heading up the hill. Call this Beach Hill. Beech trees on both sides and lots of beech roots. Another little sitting area. Back up to the top of our property. Call this overlook circle. You'll see why in a minute. That's that shortcut path I was telling you about. This is why we call it overlook. That's the path that we were just on down there. The gorge loop. And this is the northern line of our property here. Our neighbor has a couple machines there. Property line is about 25 feet out from here. Heading back to where we started. There's Cherish. Had this large portion of a black cherry tree fall last summer. A lot of terrific wood is going to come out of that. I've already made some boards. And here we are returning to where we started. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. I know it's boring as heck, but that's the path. Love walking it, do it every day. Come on, Cherish, let's go.